Hello, American Patriots. Douglas Ducote here. Boy, have I got some news for you. If you haven't already heard this, and most of you probably haven't because it's kind of buried in the mainstream news at the moment, the hurricane is taking over priority pretty much, and then if it's not that, it's something the Democrats are doing with Trump or, more Trump gate, let's say. Uh, a lot of you know that besides being a military veteran, I'm also a veteran law enforcement officer. So I pay close attention to things that are happening across our country that affect our men and women in blue and affect our Second Amendment rights. When we look at different states across America, they fluctuate in how they perceive and act and regulate and attempt to help or make it even more difficult for both of those things. Two things that should be just common sense. We need our men and women in blue. We need to support them. Yes, if there's bad apples, we need to weed them out. And it's our God-given right by our forefathers that our Second Amendment will not be infringed upon. So, that being said, allow me to share with you two things that are happening right this very moment. And the state that is leading the pack and wanting to be the first to inflict damage upon the Second Amendment, as well as our law enforcement officers, as if they haven't already done enough of that. You guessed it, it's California. San Francisco Board of Supervisors passed a resolution designating the National Rifle Association, the NRA, a domestic terrorist organization. They did that yesterday. Now, we have been trying all over the country to get not only states, but the federal government to say that Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization. But that's not happening. But according to California Board of Supervisors, it's the NRA. Now, bear with me. The resolution passed on Tuesday declares the gun rights group to be a terrorist group and calls on other cities and government entities to make similar declarations. Among the accusations levied at the NRA, the resolution argues that the group musters its considerable wealth and organizational strength to promote gun ownership and incite gun owners to acts of violence. Couldn't make that up if I tried. The legislation's author, District 2 Supervisor, Catherine Stenfani, Stefani, said the NRA has it coming. I would do everything that I possibly can to call them out on what they are, which is a domestic terrorist organization. She goes on to say, we had Dayton, Ohio, we had El Paso, Texas, now we've had Odessa, Texas, and people are dying every day in this country, and doing nothing is not an option. And that is what the NRA continues to do. All countries have violent and hateful people, but only in America do we give them ready access to assault weapons with large capacity magazines, thanks in large part to the National Rifle Association's influence. Now, why do you think San Francisco just declared the NRA a terrorist organization? Do you need to think about that long? you're still thinking, allow me to help you. It's to make it easier to go after law-abiding citizens that support the NRA. Because if you support the NRA, then you are supporting a domestic terrorist organization. And therefore, they can come in and take your weapons. Again, couldn't make this up if I tried. That's how batshit crazy San Francisco is becoming. But wait, there's more. Governor Gavin Newsom, Democrat, signed a bill on Tuesday striking down a law that made it a crime to refuse a peace officer request for help. Now, all across America, in every state, there are laws that say if you see a police officer needing help, they're by themselves, they don't have backup yet, they're being physically attacked, and they're being overpowered, you are required by law to do something besides pull out your phone and start videotaping. Seems like it'd be just common sense, common knowledge to most American patriots. That's exactly, well, we wouldn't even wait to be summoned. We would just jump in there and do what we need to do to help the person. And that's not just with police officers. That's with the little old lady pushing her shopping cart to her car in the parking lot being attacked by some thug trying to take her purse. I'm jumping into action. As should you. That's the moral thing to do. Where did this start? Where did this law originate from? One second. The principle originates from Norman, England, where local sheriffs in England would be the only peace officer in the area. He would summons assistance from locals in order to enforce the king's laws or to apprehend an offender. It became part of common law that all persons must assist a constable, sheriff, or police officer when so requested. This still remains as one of the few common law offenses which exist in England, America, and all civilized countries. And as I said, all states in America. Now, it just pains me. It pains me to do this video. As much as I've dedicated my life to this country, and a good portion of my life to the state of California, because when I was in the National Guard after my active duty service, that's where I served. I also served in law enforcement out in California, in the Bay Area of San Francisco, as a matter of fact, San Mateo County. The bill Newsom signed into law is sponsored by Senator Bob Hertzberg, Hertzberg, a Democrat, who called the outdated requirement of a bygone era that subjects citizens to an untenable and moral dilemma. And its original purpose was to help law enforcement capture slaves. That's right. That's what this silly son of a bitch said. Hertzberg bill was opposed by the California State Sheriff's Association, which argued that there are situations in which a peace officer might look to private persons for assistance in matters of emergency or risk to public safety, and we are unconvinced that this statute should be repealed. So, California has made the determination that if you see a police officer in need of help, doesn't matter if they're male, female, transvestite police officer, wearing a wrap on their head police officer. Don't matter. If you see them being overpowered by the person they're trying to apprehend, backup's not arrived yet, you can just pull out your phone, video it, and put it up on YouTube and Facebook and share it with the world. This police officer possibly losing the fight or losing their life, and nothing will be done to you for doing so. That's California, my friends. And then in San Francisco, the board goes and looks for a loophole, looks for a way to come take away their law-abiding citizens' Second Amendment rights by labeling the NRA a domestic terrorist organization. Right now, as I speak, the city of San Francisco, who's Nancy Pelosi's district, which is basically going to hell in a handbasket. There are drugs all over the street and homeless people, and it's just a freaking disaster down there. Now is doing something to endanger the lives of law enforcement officers and take away law-abiding citizens' Second Amendment rights. You know what to do, my friends. You need to get on the phone. You need to get on social media. You need to share this video. You need to contact the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. You need to contact the California Governor's Office. And you need to express yourself in a politeful and nice way. If you haven't already done so, please go over to my website, DouglasDucote.com. That is my name, Douglas Ducote, and sign up for important emails that we have with videos that we have outcoming that are not part of the YouTube videos, events that we're going to be attending, the things that we have planned as we go towards 2020 and beyond, and wonderful and exciting stuff. There's also a store there where you can buy really cool Patriot gear, and we're going to be updating that store often as we move forward. Folks, we start stripping away our rights, and we start hurting the men and women in law enforcement. And I get it. Just like in any career out there, there are some bad apples. Fine, you weed them out. But you don't do what San Francisco and the state of California is doing to endanger innocent lives. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, first responders, their families, our Blue and Gold Star families, our president, and our country. For now, I'm Douglas Ducote, and I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed evening. I'm out.